Kaylon Paterson, he joins a unique club of not only, well, one Trinbagonian and, of course, a Jamaican. So we have some Caribbean nationals doing some big things out there. You join the likes of NASA scientist Camille Wardrop Allen and the fastest man alive, Usain Bolt, Jamaican Usain Bolt, to go into this zero gravity chamber, as it were. Such an interesting development. We want to say congrats in that regard. And, you know, your career as a space engineer, Kaylon, I mean, what could we say? We are all smiles here in studio. You know, this is a Fatima old boy at TNT. Went across to the U.S. to do his studies. He's still out there in the U.S., obviously. And you're making waves. Who would have imagined? You would have ever thought? I mean, like, come on. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Firstly, before we get into some of the history, I want to go now to that zero gravity experience. How did it feel, man? Because I'm trying to figure, it must play some kind of game with your mind. I mean, we are accustomed with gravity to feel like you're literally floating. I mean, you didn't do it as yet. You're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but in terms of the prep, because I can't see you just walking into this chamber. There must be some kind of prep that will take place before you go into this to experience this.
Yeah, so a lot of it is more on the education side, understanding what we're going to experience. There's a lot of talk about potentially getting nauseous and those kinds of things. They definitely don't encourage us to eat too long before the flight. Just try to be in as best of health as you could be. It's quite common that people even that don't have like motion sickness will still experience something in those experiments.
Yeah, because this is literally zero gravity. I want to ask you though, I mean, clearly, is it excitement? Is it nerves? What's your sentiment? What's your feeling like? I mean, you're literally mere days before this life-changing flight.
So honestly, not too scary with respect to the flight itself, more so about how the experiment will go. That's kind of where my mind is focused. I've jumped out of planes before, so I'm kind of used to taking a lot of risks with my life. Not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely something that I'm excited to experience.
Clearly, I mean, some people, they're born for this, and you clearly, you're in that category. Man, say jump out plane and all. Kaylon, you're good. So ask me, in terms of the experience, it's going to be a chamber, like we saw Usain Bolt, or is it an actual flight, and then you'll get to a particular part of orbit, and you actually experience it? Walk me through the process.
So it's going to be exactly like what you say, an experience. I might actually be on the same plane that he was on. Zero G is a company that's been around for a few years. They took this idea from what Dr. Wardrop would have experienced, which was the Vomit Comet that NASA runs, and they made it a commercial company so that people like me could test things before they launch them into space, but also so people can have fun like Usain did.
Look at Usain now. Usain having that time. I mean,
yeah.
I guess you're going to record this. You're allowed to, right? You're allowed, obviously, to capture the moment.
Absolutely. Pictures, recordings, experiment data, everything. Yeah.
So you're a space engineer. What does that particular role and function entail? Walk me through average day for you under the banner of space engineer.
Yeah, so I think aerospace engineering is one of the most robust fields of engineering in the sense that you have to know a little bit about everything. You have to know mechanical, electrical, computer, all these different things to be able to develop things for space, because the idea behind this is that once I put something into space, I can never physically touch it again, right? So I have to know all of the systems that go into it, make sure that I understand how it's all going to interact with each other and with the space environment before I send it up there, because if it goes up there without a full review and a full understanding, it could be very disastrous.
Any other Trinbagonians or Caribbean personalities within your space, or are you a kind of standalone guy when you look around at your colleagues and people within the organization and structure? Any other Caribbean energy there at all?
Oh, there's a ton. I think it took a while for me to find these people when I really entered into the field, but there are a few. I've met Dr. Wardrop. There are a few other folks from Trinidad who have done these microgravity tests. And then also, some other engineers or even leadership in different organizations that touch space that I've met throughout the years. A lot from the Caribbean in general, but definitely Trinis as well.
Kaylon, any concerns from home? I mean, clearly you jump up plane already, so I'm sure you would have been given stern instructions. Oh gosh, what you doing? Like, you get any of that kind of energy, or is everybody on the same page and they understand that, you know what, you're a man of adventure, you're a man of discovery, and this is clearly a part. What's the home interaction like, man?
Well, I definitely think that my wife is concerned, of course, but she knows what I signed up for. She knows where my heart is with all of this, and even my future goals. And then I think my mom, she's gotten used to the fact that she could tell me as much as she wants about how to take care of myself and live my life, but she definitely respects that I could, take these kinds of risks and just hopes that I make it back safely. Yeah.
I mean, what is the risk involved, really and truly, for those who might not know?
Honestly, it shouldn't be that bad just because this has been done for a long time. I want to say since maybe the 50s they've been doing these flights. I don't know the exact dates, but essentially that feeling that you get when you're on a plane and it kind of drops altitude a little bit and you kind of feel your stomach go up,
Yeah.
and you feel a little bit lighter in your seat, that's essentially all we're doing is we're recreating that without the seatbelt. So it shouldn't be that bad, honestly.
Could a civilian, if you got top dollar, top coin, could a civilian pay for this experience? And if so, how much?
Yeah. Yeah, I think is 10,000 a seat, but even the organizations that I'm working with, they actually have programs like this for even on the international scale where they allow people to do these tests for free once they have a good enough scientific reason for it. This is not through Zero G specifically, but it's through the Aurelia Institute, through the National Society of Black Engineers, and then another organization called the Space Generation Advisory Council that's run by the UN. They all have partnerships with this organization to have people from diverse backgrounds with an interest in space to get into these spaces, for lack of a better term.
All right. Well, Kaylon, congrats in advance. Tell us how it, send the videos, give us the little recap when you experience it. And you're going to join a unique club. Trini did it before, of course, you've seen, and I'm sure there probably are others, but keep doing your thing and continue making us proud, man. All the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Kaylon Paterson. Listen, space engineer, So despite all that we see and all the negativity and sometimes the darkness, I always suggest and I always maintain the light way more bright. It will always outshine some of the ills we see. So we have Trinis making waves here at home and, as we see via Kaylon's example, abroad. Going and float, Zero gravity. I'll pass on that one. I feel I real good. But hey, Kaylon, do your thing, man. We'll come back and we will end things off. I will touch the Omega XL health tip and then officially pull the curtains down after the break. See you soon.